Today we're going to be talking about a very fascinating topic, evolving beyond the need for manifestation. So the question is, as we progress into the fifth dimension, can manifestation actually begin to hold us back? I'm going to be discussing all of that and more in this video, and then I'm going to be giving you 5 compelling reasons why manifestation is going to start to take a back seat as we evolve. So stay tuned. Many of us, myself included, love the topic of manifestation. Why? Well, because we all want to create the lives we want. We all want to create the things we want and have a really good time. The problem tends to be the old way of manifesting was based a lot in ego. And that's okay, because that's where we were, on the old timeline and many, many years ago. The thing is, a lot of us are still kind of using some of those old methods. And as we progress as a species and as the planet evolves more into 5D, it's not going to work that much. Manifestation was largely based in wanting to create specific outcomes, which is okay. But there's a lot of attachment to how those outcomes need to look, when they need to happen, how they need to happen. A classic example is so many people, and I've done this many times myself, thinking that they know who their specific person is. It's kind of a little bit arrogant for us in our egos to think that we know who the best person in the whole universe is for us. Sometimes people do know. Okay, there are going to be examples of people like, I knew who my partner was and that's who it was. But so many times we think we know this is the one, and it turns out it's not the one. And what that does is it really blocks us from creating the best scenarios and our highest timelines. So what are 5 compelling reasons why manifestation is going to start to take a back seat in 5D? Number 1 is it's less about specific outcomes. It's less about asking for what you want, and it's more about alignment. It's more about just being in alignment with your highest timeline. And when we're in alignment with our desires, with our passions, with our purpose in the moment, those things just show up. They show up when it's time. If they're not here yet, it's because we're not in the space. And we all know how many times we've expected a certain situation to feel a particular way, and then we get into it and it's like, this isn't what I thought it was. Or like, oh, I'm going to be so happy in this apartment or with this person. And then we get it and it's like, this isn't what I thought it was at all. And that's because we're not fully in alignment with what it is that we really feel we want. So it doesn't feel the way we think it's going to feel. Manifestation is really more about feeling as if you already have the feeling that you want without the attachment to the visualization so much or what it's going to look like. The number 2 compelling reason why manifestation is going to start to take a back seat is we're shifting now more into a world where things are much more co-creative and collaborative. We do have our own individuation, absolutely, and our own individual differentiation and expression, and individuality is very important. But we're going to be creating things more with each other. And when we think that we know, like, for example, that person is the person I'm meant to be with, if we hold on to that, we block out those that we really are meant to meet. It's less about what we individually want and kind of a harmonization of like what we want, but how that connects to what everyone else kind of wants and how our service benefits them. And in order to do that, it's really important to back off on like the specifics and the ideas of where we're going and how things are going to look, so that the universe, our higher selves, can just allow those things to shift into place naturally. The number 3 reason is authenticity. The fifth dimension is more and more about just being our authentic self in each moment. It is so much less about getting the thing, getting the outcome, getting the car. Those things will come. But the purpose is love just for the sake of itself, joy just for the sake of itself. We can burden ourselves with how it's going to look and trying to get situations to match. And the more we do that, the more we intend things specifically with a need for them to come, the more we actually block out the flow of the true joy and the true bliss and the true love that we're trying to create. And we limit ourselves. I mean, there are many people out there who maybe manifested what they wanted, and they manifested something far less happy than what they could have if they weren't so attached, because they actually got what they thought they wanted and they didn't get better than that. And again, it's really about just being in the moment to moment, which leads me to number 4. The fifth dimension, and this can be unfortunate for some of us, and I struggle with this, it's all about surrender. It's all about trusting that what we need is going to come without even really seeing where it's going to come from. Because so much of manifestation really is about control. It's about, I know that this is what I want, and so I know where I'm going. And we do want to have a vision and a path, and I'll get to that in a minute. But when we have these specific outcomes in mind, we cling to them and we attach to them for senses of security, but that security is actually an illusion. And we're being asked more and more to connect deeper and deeper to our true self, to true love just for the sake of love, which requires that we let go of those specifics and the control mechanism behind manifesting, and trusting that we are actually manifesting in every moment, regardless of whether we're intending to manifest or we're waving a magic wand to manifest. What we are is being reflected back to us. So it's more about putting ourselves in the space of our best timeline and just trusting that that's going to just show up. We don't need to keep asking like a child, this is what I want, this is what I want. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Did you hear me? It's always hearing you. I saw this visual a little while back about how when we ask the universe for things, what happens? And it's like when you ask the universe something, you have to let go, because if you don't let go, the answer doesn't come back. It's like, imagine somebody asking you like what time the movie starts, and they're like, hey, what time does the movie start? 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 What time does... You can't answer because they never let go of the question. And with manifestation, we tend to do that. We're just like, when, where, when, how? This is what I want. Did you hear me? This is what I want, Santa. When we let go, it comes back. But what we want is already being asked just by being your authentic self. We don't need to ask so much anymore. Things are more fluid. And the number 5 compelling reason is we are going into unity consciousness, which connects to the other 4. We have our own individuation, our own differentiation. Of course we do. But it's more about living in the interconnectedness, the interconnected states with all beings and the planet and the universe and the cosmos. And our individual role, which is very important, comes from the connection. It's like as we individuate, we connect more. But again, it's about like, how do my services offer the whole? How can I be of the greatest service to everybody else? And there's no way for us to know that. Unity consciousness, the highest timeline for everyone in accordance and alignment with us, is what's going to answer that question and show us where to go. So how do we navigate this? Well, it's a little tricky, and I'm honestly just learning this too, where I feel like we're all really just learning it. It's important to have a vision, Because without visions, I feel like humans don't really go anywhere. It's like we just become idle. We need a vision to kind of pull us in the direction we want to go. But what I'm learning to do, I think we're all learning to do this, is like letting the feeling of how you want to feel in 5 years being the goal. And instead of the picture kind of, or the idea of what that's going to look like that comes into your mind. And it's okay. Like we're going to have like kind of ideas of like where to go, or maybe take this class, or I know I want to speak. I know I want to be a speaker. And we listen to that, but it's being very detached from the actual visual picture of what it's going to look like. And knowing that the more we feel the state of consciousness that we want to be in, the more we're going to create the situations that match that state of consciousness. We don't need to think it out so much. You feel as if you already have that feeling, and then you follow the impulses from one moment to the next that guide you toward that feeling. How do you want to feel in 3 years? And you might go down this road for 3 weeks, and then you get an impulse to go this way. And now it's a completely different path. And then it goes this way. You don't even know where it's going to go. You just follow the feeling. And you begin to embody the feeling more and more and more. And then the situations that actually align with that and bring you to that state show up. Instead of when you have the picture and you think, you get too attached to it, you think you know what it looks like, and then you go over there and it's like, this doesn't feel at all the way I want to feel, because you're more connected to the ego than the actual authentic state of consciousness you're seeking to draw in, which you draw in by letting go of the seeking and just feeling in your body what it would feel like to already have it. So let me know what you think of that in the comments section. If you want some more information on the pitfalls of manifestation, I have a video I will leave at the end of this one called Law of Attraction Disasters Part 1. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. I look very forward to next time. Thank you.